Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is still holding above this important level of support, but in the shorter term, the price is attempting a breakout to the upside, which I'll talk about in just a moment, so definitely stick around. First of all, starting off on the 4-day Bitcoin chart, and basically not much has changed on this chart over the last 1 day. So if you're new to the channel and you want to know more about this chart right here, then check out my last video on the channel. And so getting straight into the daily Bitcoin chart, we're still seeing a bit of a rejection from this strong resistance as this bearish divergence continues to play out, which basically means we should not really be expecting a lot of bullish momentum, at least in the shorter term. And instead, as I've been saying almost every day over the last 2 weeks or so, it's very likely we're going to see either some choppy sideways price action, if not a slight pullback in the shorter term in the price of Bitcoin, which has been playing out so far as expected. And if you're looking at the daily Bitcoin MACD, as of right now, this is currently showing very low momentum, which once again, as I've been saying recently on the channel, this basically means we should not really be expecting a significant move on the chart to either direction here on the daily time frame when you're talking about the somewhat shorter term. And now if you're zooming into the 8-hour Bitcoin chart, right now the price of Bitcoin is still holding above this important Fibonacci level of support, which is sitting at around 28.9k. So at least for now, that is the initial important level of support to pay attention to. But if we actually saw a break back below 28.9k, then in that case we have this support level at around 28,000, and below that we have the golden pocket area of support in between around 27,000 to 27.2k. And as for resistance, at least based on these Fibonacci levels, we should find some resistance at around $30,000. And now if you're zooming into the shorter term, taking a look at the 2-hour Bitcoin chart, technically speaking, this previous bear flag pattern and bearish price targets have not yet been completely invalidated, because we have not yet seen a proper confirmed breakout back above this line right here, which is sitting at around 29.7k, because basically that level was not only previous support and should now be acting as new resistance in the short term, it is also the point of invalidation for this previous bearish flag pattern and the bearish price target that goes along with it. So obviously if we see a confirmed breakout back above that level, once again that invalidates this pattern and this price target. And in that case, if that actually happens, then the next resistance in the short term above 30,000 would be sitting at around 30.4k, this level right here. But once again, as I've been saying recently on the channel, just in the shorter term, we currently do not have a lot of momentum, which basically means we don't really have a strong direction here in the price of Bitcoin, at least in the short term for now. And now if you're zooming into the 1-hour Bitcoin chart, what's very interesting is right now, as I'm recording this video, the price of Bitcoin is attempting a breakout above this descending line of resistance, which is sitting at around 29.3 to 29.4k. And so far we have seen an initial breakout to the upside, a retest of that level, and now we're actually starting to see a possible bounce from this level, which was previous resistance, now flipping into new support. And so technically speaking, this is a bullish signal, especially if this bounce further confirms by confirming this candle close in the green. And ideally, if we can actually make a new high above this previous high just here that we saw over the last 1 day, then that could also further confirm this breakout above this descending line of resistance. And now in that case, considering we are potentially breaking out right now and we're getting close to confirming this retest for the breakout, that sets up a technical price target at around 29.9k approximately, which from the current price of Bitcoin at the time of recording this video to that price target, that's around a 1.5% move in the price of Bitcoin. So obviously not a massive move, because once again, as I said earlier, we do not have a lot of momentum when you're looking at the moves on the daily chart, for example. And so obviously on the smaller time frames, that might look like a fairly large move, but if you zoom out on the larger time frames, that would still look like something like that, for example. Obviously nothing too significant. And in case you're wondering, the point of invalidation for this breakout to the upside here on the 1-hour chart, that would simply be a break back below this line right here, once again at around 29.3k to 29. 29.4k. And so obviously this is one of those rare occurrences where we actually have a bullish price target and a bearish price target. And you might be wondering, well, what does that mean? What does it mean to have a bearish price target and a bullish price target? And well, first of all, these two patterns are on two different time frames. So for example, usually the pattern on the smaller time frame plays out faster than the pattern on the slightly larger time frame. So a likely scenario here in the shorter term, if this retest further confirms, could look something like this. Basically, the price of Bitcoin potentially continuing higher towards this bullish price target, but if we do not see a breakout back above 29.7k and instead we just see a small move to the upside and then get a rejection from that level of resistance, then this bearish price target on the 2-hour chart remains in play. And of course, we can also see candle wicks back above this level right here without invalidating these bearish price targets. It's only important we do not see confirmed candle closes back above 29.7k for this pattern, because obviously candle closes back above that level once again invalidates the bearish price target. So essentially in the imminent short term, talking about the coming hours, for example, we are currently looking slightly more bullish, but we would only start to flip much more bullish again if we actually see an invalidation of this previous bearish pattern by confirming a breakout above that invalidation level. And so until then, once again, as I said earlier, we do not currently have a strong direction here in the price of Bitcoin in the short term, because once again, we are currently lacking momentum. And now this type of thing is also perfect for a grid bot strategy where you basically make profits very easy automatically during choppy sideways price action. And if you want to know how to do that, then stick around to the end of this video to find out more. But first, getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the daily ETH to US dollar chart. And right now, the price of ETH is still trading above this important area of support, once again, in between 1770 to 1820. And as for the daily Ethereum price oscillators, these are still currently looking very neutral, showing very low momentum, which once again, as I've been saying almost every day over the last 1 week or so, this basically means it's unlikely we're going to see any significant movement here on the daily time frame, and it's much more likely that we're going to see relatively mild price action, as in most likely some choppy sideways price action. And now if you're zooming into the 8-hour ETH to US dollar chart, obviously this previous ascending line of support should also still be acting as new resistance, considering we've seen a break to the downside. And so if we do continue a bounce back to the upside, then expect resistance at around 1910 to 1920. And just staying on the 8-hour time frame, taking a look at the Fibonacci levels, we still have this 50% retracement level at around 1830 approximately, acting as support. But if we saw a confirmed break back below that level, then we have the golden pocket sitting in between around 1760 to 1770. And as for resistance based on the Fibonacci levels, we're currently still finding a bit of resistance at around 1870 to 1880. But above that level right there, once again, we have that resistance at around 1910 to 1920. And above that, we also have some resistance at around 1930 based on this Fibonacci level. And now if you're zooming into the 2-hour ETH to US dollar chart right now, as I record in this video, the price of ETH has actually invalidated this previous breakout to the upsides, because if you watched my last video on the channel, basically in that video, we were seeing an initial breakout and an initial retest of this previous resistance level, flipping it into new support. But obviously we did not see a lot of confirmation for that retest. We did not see a strong bounce off this level. And also we did not create any new higher high above this previous high for the initial breakout. And so essentially the follow through for the breakout, confirming the breakout, was very weak. And obviously the moment we actually saw a confirmed break back below this line right here, obviously that was the invalidation level for the breakout. And so once again, technically speaking, as of right now, this line of resistance and this breakout is currently invalidated. We're simply chopping around sideways, showing very low momentum in the short term. And now if you want to know how to make a lot of money very easily, no matter if the price is going to the upside, to the downside, or simply chopping around sideways like it is right now, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how to make money if the price is bullish or bearish using AI, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price price action. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.